Roti, Kapda, Makan. For decades now, this iconic line has captured the holy trinity of humanity's most essential needs. For Indians over the last 2 generations, food, clothing, and shelter were the top makers of success and social standing. It was what we worked for, lived for, and strived towards.
Traditionally, if you see house ownership in India, it's looked upon as an objective in life. It was an accomplishment and it was a status symbol. The status symbol was to that extent that would-be grooms were evaluated on the basis of ownership of house.
After all, in India, a makan is considered more than just a place to live in. Real estate is one of the most significant assets that an individual or family can own. An investment in a home roots a family to a location, giving them a sense of space, identity, and community. More importantly, real estate is considered an appreciative asset, whose value rises over time, thereby allowing investors a chance to grow their wealth and overall net worth.
This residential asset class was looked upon as an investment avenue. And if you see over the years, the return on residential property was quite high. However, recently, for the last, say, 3-4 years, we saw the resurgence of sharing economy. But we have to remember that even for rental housing, even for co-living, somebody has to own a house. Somebody has to invest in residential property.
While there are several reasons underlying India's love affair with housing, in the COVID-19 economy, these reasons have emerged even stronger and louder. Property buyers are getting younger. 55% property seekers today are aged between 25 and 35 years, as against 42% in the 2019 survey. Over 62% home seekers will pay premium for homes by established developers with least execution risk, as against 52% in the previous survey. No impact of COVID-19 on affordable homes demand. 36% seek properties priced within Rs 45 lakhs, which is almost the same as in the previous survey. 82% buyers have booked homes in either Bengaluru, Hyderabad or MMR.
This COVID-19, this pandemic disrupted the entire residential market. But then we believe that this asset class really is a very, very unique asset class. Again, I'm referring to the JLL survey that we have done between June and July, very recent survey of prospective home buyers. So we saw that even the prospective home buyers, they are putting the highest importance as an investment avenue to real estate, to residential sector. The next very important is 91% of the prospective home buyers, they are mainly looking for owning and staying, and it's not so much for renting. And of those 91%, around 67 to 68% of the prospective home buyers, they said that this is a necessity. It's no more a luxury to own a house. So it's a necessity. So if I keep into mind all these findings, I think even in this pandemic, we see that majority of the prospective home buyers, they are likely to buy a house within the next 6 months. So what we can say with certainty that if not this December, definitely by first quarter of 2021, we will see a revival happening in the residential market. So the sweet spot as per our survey is up to 75 lakh house property price. And geographically, the southern markets are likely to revive first, followed by the west, north and the east.
One of the major challenges faced by developers in recent times is the increase in unsold inventories. However, a number of new schemes and initiatives, both by the government as well as by real estate companies, are working to change this.
So as we speak, the mortgage interest rate is the lowest. The valuation of property, I'm referring to house property, is very realistic, and lots of options are available in the market. So this is absolutely a buyer's conducive environment to buy a house.
Another segment that's really transforming investments in real estate are NRIs. The NRI investor wants to pump money into luxury residential units which stand out from general housing units and have a niche for themselves.
We have seen that NRIs generally invest 8 to 10% of their inward remittance to India into immovable property, primarily into land and residential properties. I would believe that there is a good case for NRIs to invest in Indian residential market. There are three reasons. The first and foremost is that the currency depreciation is giving a good leverage to them. Second is the attractive valuation of Indian real estate today. Third, very important, is there are so many options available in the market in different categories, different price categories. Any sort of NRI investment, it looks for transparency. I think our residential market is going towards a very, very transparent one after the, of course, implementation of RERA and GST. Now has become, one of the probably most transparent economies amongst the emerging economies in the world.
Moving beyond residential discussions, the real estate market now offers a diversified portfolio for investors in the commercial space. Warehousing, co-working spaces, commercial zones, and small office spaces are finding more takers than residential housing.
So one more very interesting trend we might see going ahead is this work from home. Suppose we assume that it's anywhere between 10 to 15%. So their frequency of office will reduce drastically. So the demand for peripheral markets and affordable and mid-segment, because of this work from home, is likely to go up. Quite a lot of structural changes may be required in terms of house. Majority, more than 80% of the prospective home buyers, they are actually looking for a study room, a study, or a space which can be used, for work from home. So the very, very interesting part is we are seeing more demand side queries going to developers who are having a lot of high credentials. I would say the most important objective of RERA and GST was to bring in a level playing field amongst all the stakeholders in the real estate sector. So transparency has increased, the business model has changed, and there is a regulator as well. And in the taxation side, there is GST, which is bringing in a lot of unorganized players into the mainstream economy, which is also very, very important. So overall, I think the entire residential market and real estate at a broader horizon is going for a whole lot of change, I would say corporatization.
Let's take a look at how developers are changing the game in real estate.
Today, if you look at ownership of homes in India, or rather look at the entire basket of home occupancy today, 87% of the homes occupied today are owned by the occupiers, which is the highest rate in the world. Millennials will be 77% of the working population by 2030. So it's not just the living space, but also the workspace and the kind of technology that you are actually providing them.
We consider the requirements of the people and create spaces that are very apt, cost conscious, and also bring in the elements of the new luxury items like pure water supplied to the tap, or Aerosphere supplying filtered air in the project area.
Today, while yes, there is a section of the population that is highly mobile and would prefer a co-living space, I still strongly believe that the inherent demand for a home is still there.
I think investors have realized that it's safe to, or there's been sufficient learning, sufficient progress, sufficient reform that enables their investments to flow into India.
With the kind of urbanization that we're seeing, it is something that you can touch, feel, and that appreciates over time.
With strong investments coming in the last 5 to 7 years in the real estate sector, we've seen huge amount of investments in the office space segment, in the residential sector as well. And I think it's going to get more aggressive as we move forward because of the affordable housing piece.
Yes, the questions are you buying the right brand? Are you buying the right product? Are you buying the right micro market? So those filters are important. But if those choices are made correctly, history would tell you that real estate is one of the only asset classes that continue to appreciate, and they give you that sense of safety, security, even 30, 40 years down the line.
It's an exciting time to be an investor in India, and real estate companies like Puravankara are making sure they keep up with emerging and established global trends. This means that the dynamic real estate sector will continue to scale up and flourish, carrying with it a million Indian dreams of Apna Ghar, Apna Makan.